Greetings. Come one, come all. There have been many great teachers in the black community. I give them all credit, even though some of them left this plane of existence in a tragic manner. Because sometimes they made the wrong choice. And we give credit to those that was on the right track and strayed away. And is still living. A lot of brothers had to concede, or they conceded to the devil way of living. I witnessed this with my own eyes. All except the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Sometimes he did things in a diplomatic way. Sometimes he was an ambassador. Sometimes he was a scholar. He was many things while delivering the message that Allah and the person of Master Fard Muhammad gave to him. And he did it well. I remember a point in the Bible, a rich man came to Jesus to request to be one of his followers, and he approached him and addressed him in this manner: "O good master." Stop right there. Jesus said, "Why dost thou call me good? For there's only one that's good, and that's my Father who is in heaven." What he meant by that? Where he was living was hell. But he had a message to give. And he had to adapt to some of the ways of the devil, which was the Romans, the Pharisees, all in the house of Satan, the so-called Jews. And then he proceeded to tell the young rich man, he said, "If you want to follow me, give all your riches away to the poor." And he couldn't do that, so he left the scene. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, living in America, he had to follow the laws of Satan, which contradicted the laws of the Most High, or the Creator's laws, which came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Because you don't say a pledge of allegiance to a flag that put you in slavery. Most brothers and sisters, they think the Confederate flag is the villain, but they forget that we were slaves when the American flag was being made. We were slaves then. Why aren't you upset about that flag? Black people are funny, you know. It's a group of black people that pledge allegiance to the devil, even though they know that their people are being mistreated, misused and abused, made confused. They know this, but the devil promised them a life of ease and luxury. So they joined the devil's team. And these are the people that are blocking the real understanding of who you are, and the real education, and the real teachings of who you are. They water them down. They leave out certain things, just like the priests in ancient Egypt did. At one time, they got the big head, and they only taught the people a certain amount of knowledge. But at one time, all black people were priests and scholars, or we were all gods. But they always were 24, supremely God. They kept the law and order of the cosmic universe. Now I'm going to tell a story when I came on the scene back in 1946 in Detroit, Michigan. I was born and raised here in Detroit, Michigan. 1946, my uncle was already a registered Muslim in the Nation of Islam. Matter of fact, I think he had some rank. I think he had made a lieutenant. I don't never think he was a captain. He might have been. But he used to teach me. Now, he also indoctrinated his mother, my grandmother, my mother, and his sister. Now, he had two other brothers. They were straight up Hastings Street gangsters, hustlers, pimps, and players. But they were older than him. When he first came to Detroit from St. Louis, all of them came from St. Louis, Missouri, except my father. He came from an area around Little Rock, Arkansas called Salahachie. They couldn't get my father. My father hooked up with the Masons. They could never get him to, he never did join the Nation of Islam. But he didn't care if my mother was in it. He didn't fight against it. You know. My mother was the one that fought against it. Now, growing up in Detroit, my mother was a registered Muslim. I was born at that time when she was registered, but before she was a registered Muslim, she was going to the meetings. And some of those teachings filtered down to my mama's pregnant stomach, to me. And then she started taking me to meetings at a very young age. But she started falling out with some of the brothers and her brother. And around the age 7, when I was 7 years old, she took me out. She went all the way back to celebrating Christmas, put me in a public school. Now that's where I'm going to pick up from on the next video, when I was in the public school system. And that's why I first felt racism. Because, see, I had already had the teachers in me. So I was tuned up and made aware. My intuition was sharpened at a very young age. And I had to face the devil's system in his world, in his school system. My cousins and them, they were younger than me. Matter of fact, I used to babysit them or watch over them. And they grew up in the University of Islam. But still, the devil touched them when they got older. So, living in his system, you're going to get touched. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was trying to build up a community of righteous brothers and sisters to resist at least some of the influence of the devils. And eventually, we would have became strong enough. But this story is to be continued. Stay tuned for the next one. Black Light.